Open Academia, a philosophy of open practice. A public domain presentation by James Neal. Open academia refers to a philosophy and a practice. We're talking about ideas, but also ideas that are put into action. Academia is proposed to have a symbiotic relationship with society, and that this relationship is going to be optimally fueled by having the ingredient of openness. Without openness, we'll choke down the contributions that academia makes to society, and society may then choke down the contributions that it makes to academia. So ideally, we're talking about an open flow between academia and society. So open academia involves principles of openness, that's the philosophy, and the action, the practice, which are the acts of sharingness, sharing of academic scholarly knowledge and skills and activities on behalf of the academic institutions, and sharing of resources and infrastructure to support academia by society. So this presentation will talk about both, and we'll have a little bit more of a look at the philosophy of academia and open academia now. Increasingly, public funded institutions such as governments, parliaments, public service bodies and so on are shifting towards an open philosophy, a philosophy that emphasizes transparency of information, accessibility of that information, inclusivity to allow multiple points of access, flexibility of use of that information, and reusability of that information. And public funded universities similarly are being asked or invited by society to consider these as fundamental principles in a democratic society for public institutions. So as hinted at earlier, this symbiotic relationship whereby society provides resources to academic institutions, and they in turn provide academic knowledge and practical training in that knowledge back to society. So together, society and academia are in a collaborative search for to develop and share a knowledge commons, a common body of knowledge and information that can facilitate the management and development of society. Now, the argument that's being put forward here, or the proposal, is that these goals of society are going to be best met if academia by default makes its information open, and only by exception, where there's particularly good rationale, should the fruits of public universities be closed to the public. So we're talking about some new hallmarks in terms of public values and public practice that cluster around this notion of openness, but this is closely related to notions of transparency and accessibility, as well as flexibility and reusability. So the proposal here is that public funded universities should really be the institutions that are championing knowledge sharing and access by the public to scholarly resources. Open academia really shouldn't be necessary as a phrase, because academia really does imply sharing of knowledge, but we're using open academia to emphasize the shift that's needed in this direction.